Welcome to Gays Watch Degrassi, the podcast where my expertise
and my skepticism
shines a new rainbow on this Canadian after-school special. Today we are listening to Season 2, Episode 6, Drive. This episode is named after the song by The Cars. Drive the Cars. It came out in 1984. In preparation, we watched a live version of this song, and it kind of seems like maybe they're an engineered band, just based on, like, everything. They were all dressed, and, you know, questionable whether or not they are playing the instruments. But you have for sure heard the song. You know, it goes, "Who's gonna drive you home
tonight? Doo-doo.
Who's gonna tell you when?" Etc. Do-do-do-do-do-do. All those, like, 80s synth sounds going on. But let's get started with the synopsis. Joey is going away, and he trusts Craig to stay home with his friends. But when he is pressured by friends, they steal a car from the lot to win tickets, and they get caught. Meanwhile, Ashley feels pressure to fit in with her new friend by getting a piercing, and she gets caught being fake.
She's Ashley.
Yeah, she can't just, like, be herself even after everything she's been through not being real. She just can't be real.
She's still a poorly written character. $3,100 for a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Wow. Definitely 2003 prices.
How much do you think they're selling the MG for? That was the yellow car.
Oh.
I think it was an MG. It was a British car, definitely.
Oh, yeah, like in Peep Show. It was a good car for a good deal, Missy. But Craig is doing well at the lot, helps sell a car, and Joey trusts him to drive the car over across the lot to get it washed. And Craig's just mind blown, and he just is it's so awesome to him to drive a car, even if it's just on the lot and it's an old clunker.
It's a Lincoln Continental, right?
It seems like it, and in the very minimal amount of research we did to prepare for this episode, this plot is very similar to a plot that Joey went through in his time at Degrassi Junior High. As we spoke about before, in Girls Wanna Have Fun, when Craig got the fedora put on his head by Joey, he's living through a lot of the same things Joey experienced, and this is one of the first biggest examples. When Joey's at Degrassi Junior High, he has a multi-boy sleepover with some of his friends while Snake's parents are away. While they are having the sleepover, they have tons of fun, but they oversleep, and then Wheels is going to miss a dentist appointment that he can't miss.
What? I gotta make this dentist appointment.
It's like he's rescheduled it already or something, and he doesn't want his parents to be mad. It's like a very thin, like, plot.
That doesn't happen in Degrassi.
So, Joey convinces Snake to let them drive Snake's parents' car across town, even though they don't have a license, so that he can be on time to his dentist appointment.
What's the Canadian age to drive? I mean, I know they're 14 in this, right?
It's 16, like here.
Okay.
But while they're out getting Wheels to his appointment, they think that they hit a car and cause a dent in Snake's parents' car. So they take it to get fixed. They, like, do all this
and it's not
maneuvering to make the money.
The dent already existed.
Mm-hmm.
That's so stupid.
When Snake's parents get home, they're like, "Thanks for fixing that dent. Like, you know, Dad backed into a pole last week." And they all get in trouble. So, that being said, this is a very similar plot point with Craig And from what we could tell watching the 2 episodes, it looks like they're in a Lincoln Continental in both episodes. It's maybe an older version in the 80s Degrassi.
But then the 80s one is in 80s, whereas this is like the early thousands. So it's like a 90s Lincoln. So I guess that makes sense. Like, Craig's driving Joey's like one of his used cars versus taking Snake's parents' car, which would be more, I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah. And he picks that car because it's the one he, like, knows how to drive from Joey letting, and it's like, so it's kind of like one of the clunkers because it's older.
It's a Lincoln Continental. It's American made. Detroit built. Like, driving a waterbed.
Oh my god. I know exactly what you mean. My Nona used to have a Thunderbird, and it was a little bit like that. Even her Taurus is a little...
Some people like it. I mean, the opposite is feeling every bump in the roads.
So we hear Joey saying on the phone to what we know is his mom, "Hey, I'm going to need you to come pick up Angie because Bianca booked a surprise trip." So his hot girlfriend's name is Bianca.
And his mom exists?
Oh, yeah. Grandma.
Does she exist in the original show?
Yes.
But she never appears in this one?
Nah, I'm guessing that they probably couldn't get the same actor, and rather than do that. And also, it's always so minor. It's only when Angie needs,
But was she like a main character in the original? Or?
Yeah, she wasn't a main character, but she appeared in more than one episode.
Or, like...
yeah, I compare her more to,
dad.
like, Jane's mom or something. Like, she appeared in a few episodes, not a bunch, It's, who are the main... so Wheels had the main family-related plots because his parents actually die in a car crash early on in Degrassi Junior High.
Because his parents died.
He also gets a DUI and, like, kills a kid in the, like, last episode of the show. But it's because his last name is Wheeler. It's unrelated to all those things.
Man, I wish Betty wishes his last name was like Money or something.
But his family, because his grandparents, like, start watching him, they actually appear the most, probably out of all the parents and stuff, in Degrassi Junior High. Because he has the most trouble, obviously, after his parents die. And then that leads him to... It really sucks because his parents get killed by a drunk driver, and then he just, like, spirals... And then he ends up killing a kid as a drunk driver.
He ends up an orphan, and then he does, like, the opposite to the parents.
So Craig is saying, so you're planning for Ange to go see your grandma. Where am I going to go? And he says, you're going to stay here. You can cook, you can clean, you'll be good. And he's just so surprised that Joey trusts him like that. I don't think Craig has had anything except... his dad's overbearingness, So, Joey says, ground rules, no chicks, no booze, and no parties. But you can have your buds over.
So wouldn't that be, like, having your buds over, wouldn't that be kind of, I don't know, I guess it's not a party. I guess he means, like, a party, like, is, like, plus.
Like, everyone come over, So I think that no chicks and no parties kind of goes hands in hand. If girls come over, it's a party, right?
But same with booze.
Yeah.
Although I guess, like, him and his few friends could hang out drinking, but that'd be a little weird at 14.
Some of us did that.
Some of us waited till we were a healthy 16, 17.
Well, some of us don't think it's a contest. So, we're coming up on the first deleted scene of the episode. It comes up pretty early on.
I can't believe you deleted me.
I really love that one. The first deleted scene is Craig and Sean are heading into school, And you can hear Craig kind of telling Sean, it's going to be awesome. Joey's leaving. You can have the boys over, blah, blah. But he notices Sean isn't listening to him. He's just looking at Emma. And he says, I thought it was over between you guys. And he says, oh, no, it is. But you can tell Sean's not over it. Sean's still in love. And Emma's coming back. Ugh. Yes. So I wish that this scene had stayed in, because it would have given us Sema shippers a little bit of hope that ship will sail once more eventually. It also shows us that Craig does invite Sean first. But we roll into the boys talking about Kid Elric tickets being sold out.
Kid Elric, obviously meant to be Kid Rock.
Is this the first Kid Elric mention?
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember if he was mentioned maybe one time in season 1 briefly. But Kid Elric is mentioned throughout, is even shown performing once in one of the later seasons. But yeah, like you said, very clearly Kid Rock. Is Kid Rock Canadian? Or is there any reason? Or is it just...
I'm pretty sure he's American.
Just wondering why that was the choice,
I have no idea, because he was, famous back then. Remember the song?
Oh, I do remember this.
You remember Kid Elric's song? Ka ta ta pa ta ka pa. And, even, when you see what's the person who plays Kid Elric,
he wears the hat.
Yep.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. So, we'll do a side-by-side when when we get to that point. We'll do some side-by-sides.
Which makes me, wonder, does, Aubrey Graham, a.k.a. Drake, like Kid Rock then? Or, how does Drake, the rapper, feel about Kid Rock? Because Jimmy, the Degrassi character, really likes Kid Elric, which is basically their version of Kid Rock.
I know, it's so funny.
And I think they're basically the same character, because Jimmy ends up becoming a rapper or whatever, so it's basically parallel universe.
Tell me anything but the truth, because I don't think I can take it now.
Tell me it's not a parallel universe where Degrassi exists.
Nah, we're just all in the Matrix.
I am excited for the new one.
Me too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. I'm not a purist. I've been over it. Let's make as many reboots as possible. I don't care how bad they are.
Right?
I'll watch all of them. Literally, there's nothing to lose, because the other option is none. Craig is inviting the boys over. Marco, Jimmy, Spinner, but when Jimmy finds out that Sean's already invited, Jimmy doesn't want to go, because Jimmy's a bitch.
Got a party!
No parties.
Girls!
No girls.
Booze!
No booze.
Donuts!
That we can do. It's a pretty good scene. It's cute. Oh, yes, another deleted scene.
I can't believe you deleted me.
Ashley, well...
Paige. We gotta do again. Paige gives some shade.
What does she even say?
She makes fun of Ellie's hair, and then Ellie says you should go to the mall. They're selling personalities.
And then Ashley says good one or something. So that's a pretty cute deleted scene. It's just more of the Paige and Ellie rivalry. I don't even get... It's really funny because Paige just expects everyone to think that she's the shit, and for everyone to just kind of, fall at her feet, and Ellie just does not give a shit about her. So Paige automatically doesn't like Ellie for that reason.
I have met one person who liked Paige the most, and they were a terrible person. So...
Right.
How can you be like, that's the best?
I know. And, like, she does have a lot of development later. And obviously she becomes our bisexual queen. And I'm never going to hate that. But she
And
is...
it's better than Ashley, obviously. But
Yes, yeah. She's at least honest about how terrible she is. Ashley is, like, the type of friend who, like, tells you to bring a sweater, but then when you're cold will be like, well, you should have brought a sweater instead of giving you theirs, you know? Ashley's transition of weird hairstyles she goes through during this time. Ellie's hair is so many braids, it looks like it took forever.
she's getting her cartilage pierced.
Mm-hmm. It was a very popular piercing at the time.
What does that mean? Isn't that just like, or is that a specific piercing?
Nah, it's not a specific piercing. Piercings have names based on where it is. So saying you're getting your cartilage pierced.
That
could
just
be
means like your ear lobey part,
yeah.
right?
But honestly, it like the one I have, this one, it's called a rook. It's when you pierce the fold inside your ear that's like the cartilage fold. And like so that's technically still a cartilage piercing, even though it's not on the outside lip of your cartilage. You know? So there's a ton of different cartilage piercings that exist.
And do those ones ever close up, or is those ones like permanent?
No, it can close if you take it out. But they feel super different than like a skin piercing. When you pull on it, it doesn't feel like, ow, it's being pulled on. You kind of can't feel it because it's almost like borderline bone, you know? So it's like, it's in there. When they did this rook piercing, they use a big giant hooked one and they kind of go through, you know, because it's kind of a thick little bit.
Cool.
I got it done when I was 16, so
you
I've had it
feel
for a
less
really
pain.
long time.
Oh, yeah, you've had it for, yeah. So it's permanent now, or would it heal up?
Hard to say, you know? Most things are never permanent. Like, your body's very resilient.
I mean, it is, but it's just such a weenie.
You just gotta break that seal, and then you'd be over it. It's not that big of a deal.
Nah, I told you. Maybe get a tattoo, and then as my teeth fall out, replace them with gold ones. That's about it. I'm not gonna have weird piercings, but I am gonna have gold teeth.
I honestly do think that tattoos are a little bit different than, like, piercings, because it doesn't kind of go in your body the way that piercings do.
Yeah.
So it feels slightly different.
Like,
even though
I
have
like
a bunch of both.
I mean, I don't hate getting shots or whatever, but I hate getting my blood drawn. And then if you're at the dentist and they put the numbing stuff and they put it in your, like, gums, like, I hate that. Like, I can deal with it, you know, but I hate that so much.
Yeah.
And I don't think, like, yeah.
Generally, I won't get a cavity unless I'm high as balls on nitrous, because I'm very squeamish.
You won't get a cavity, or you won't get it filled? I get really high on nitrous, then I eat so much sugar. Don't brush my teeth.
We digress. Point being that Ellie is getting her cartilage pierced, and Ashley notices that Ellie has her belly button pierced, and then she says, "Hey, I've been thinking about getting my belly button pierced.
That was
what do you
kind of
think?"
like popular in the early thousands. I remember like so many girls in my high school had
Belly button piercings.
piercings and like just like weird different ones. And like also like because we went to a Catholic school, so like not that the girls were super prudish, but you know, I mean, we're like 12 and 13-year-olds, but they'd still have like Playboy bunny belly button piercing or cherry, you know.
Oh man, what wild times. It reminds me of the movie 13. Have you seen that bitch?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. So I really wanted my belly button piercing at the time, and my mom was like, hell no.
Do you think that's the right call, or would you do you think you would have preferred having it? Like, would you have a belly button piercing now, or?
No, actually, now that we're talking about it, I'm like, maybe I should go do that. Because I've been wanting to get more nose piercings, but it's going to be a while before they do any under the mask piercing.
Mm.
It's still not going to be a thing for a while, probably. So even though that's the piercing I really want, I'm going to have to wait for that one unless I can find someone I know who can do it. So, that being said, maybe I should get some consolation piercings. Ellie says to Ashley, come with me after school. He'd be able to squeeze me in, and Ellie says, let's find out.
Say about.
About.
Canada speak?
Canada speak. Let's find out. Ellie is one of the hardcore offenders. Ellie, Paige, Craig, I guess that's it. There's someone else, whatever.
I wonder if any are the people in the later seasons better.
I think
when it gets to
Casey does it a lot. You told me to play basketball.
Tune in 10 years' time for when we reach that episode.
Hey, if you want us to get to those seasons quicker, throw us a donation. Support us monetarily. That will help us just keep making this podcast. Or, if you can't financially support us this time, give us a like, a follow, a review, and share us with your friends.
Watch the podcast. Make a video of yourself watching the podcast on TikTok.
We're back with Mrs. Kwan. She's explaining the difference. I'm sorry, Miss Kwan. She's explaining the difference between a simile and a metaphor. People get this confused a lot. A simile is when you say something is like something else, and a metaphor is when you say something is something else. So when you're like, my cat is like a sausage, that is a simile, even though most people think that that's a metaphor. When you say, my cat is a sausage, that's a metaphor.
Wait, what? No, now I'm confused. You gotta explain that again.
Okay. A simile is when you say something is like something else.
Yeah. So my
So
cat
I'll give
is
you an
as
example.
fat as a sausage.
My cat, like a sausage, fat and round and fluff, fills me with love. That is a simile. Hi. She hopped up, knew we were talking about her. Whereas a metaphor would be, my cat, a sausage, fat, lumpy, full of love. So the difference is very minor in semantic. They're very similar. But in metaphors, you have to do a little bit more legwork because you're literally saying the thing is the other thing. But the point of the scene is that they're just waiting for the day to end so they can start their amazing adventure. They walk up to the house, getting ready to hang out. And Joey's like, what's this? You invited the whole school? Gotcha.
Dick move.
Joey's got them the 4 food groups. Chips, 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 and craft dinner.
Say about.
About.
Craft dinner, buddy.
I'm not your buddy guy.
So craft dinner is a Canadian thing?
I don't know.
What is craft dinner? I thought it's mac and cheese.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just eating mac and cheese for dinner.
I think so. But I also need an explanation. Because it's throughout South Park, they call it craft dinner. And
when they're
then-
making fun of Canadians.
Yes. And then they call it craft dinner in this episode, and I just have zero understanding of why. Is it just because Canadians use craft dinner as like
Maybe it comes
slang
from Canada.
for mac and cheese? Craft is from mac and cheese.
Kraft is from mac and cheese.
Kraft,
People, Kraft is from mac and cheese.
it's from Canada, apparently.
Maybe it's like hella cheap there. It's like 10 Canadian cents.
10 Canadian cents. It doesn't make Canadian sense.
I'm sure the conversion rate is in just as much American sense. How much sense did that make to you? None.
None.
She looks young. She got a cross necklace on, but I don't think she a Christian girl.
Well, I mean, she can't be that young because Joey said that she booked the surprise trip away. So they, like...
I guess he just looks really old because he has no hair.
Yeah, he's meant to be, what,
Sorry,
29, 30?
any bald viewers. It's an ager. It's an ager. A person with no hair immediately looks 10 years older than they do.
Holy crap, look. The person who plays Attila, his name is George Buza.
Oh, you're a booza.
Yeah, but my family's Busa, but probably, like, of the same vein, or if he's Italian.
So I have an issue with this. So Ellie is related to this piercer, tattooer, whose name is Attila. That is her cousin, or that they call each other cuz because they're related. So who is Attila, the family name, Ellie's family name, Attila. Who is that? Her army dad? Or her alcoholic mom who's just like an asshole?
Mm-hmm.
Like, which one is Attila related to?
To be honest, I don't think that they planned either of those people to exist yet, the alcoholic mom or the army dad, and that's part of why this story doesn't totally hold water.
Like, who's related to Attila?
Yeah. But if you asked me, I would say that this is her mom's cousin.
I would have said army dad. That's crazy.
I think it's her mom's cousin. He probably knows that his cousin is a mess and, is maybe there.
She's not even sober enough to recognize the first piercing. She's not going to recognize anything.
Basically, an army dad's not there.
God, her mom's such a shit show.
She gets her shit together later in life.
Doesn't.
Yeah, she does.
Does she?
She does. It takes a lot, though.
But, Ellie has to, threaten type thing. If you mess up again, that's it. So it's not, is that really getting your shit together?
I mean, she burns down the house and still is not going to stop drinking. So, that's pretty fucked up. Ellie has to straight up say, I was cutting myself, and I'm going to start cutting myself again.
Whoa, spoilers!
They've all seen it already. We talked about JT dying, what that's a spoiler. And
Whoa!
Well, buckle up, because we haven't even met Cam yet, or Adam.
Or Eli.
Oh, Eli. No comment. I'm saving all my Eli comments. You'll never know. So he's playing really intense,
just classical
opera.
music. Or, yeah, I guess opera.
It's probably Italian opera. Because I think is it Attila? I don't know.
Well, I mean, his name's Buza, so let's say it's opera, the guy, he's Italian.
So I forgot to mention that this actor, George Buza, who plays Attila, he is also in one of my favorite Netflix shows, Ginny and Georgia, that also features many other Degrassi favorites. Yeah, including Esme and Frankie and the chick that Hunter's in love with. Shit, what's her name?
Also,
Arlene.
It's very weird, I don't know. And I don't know how things were back then, but looking at things from a lens right now, how it's I need my mom's signature on this piece of paper, but she won't sign it. And it's just fake it. If literally, the person's I need some scribble on this line. It's
what is he
you don't even
do?
need my parent to be there to be I consent to this?
Right? Is he going to go on parentssignatures.com and double check it? No. He doesn't give a shit. So it's super obvious that Ashley is using this as an excuse so that she doesn't have to get the piercing.
Right? Oh, that makes so much sense. But did you... there was a racket for some girls who could copy your parents' handwriting. If you gave them, like, a sample type thing, like a sample note, they could copy it, like, perfectly and write, like... If you were that... Like, most times, like, looking back on it, most times they wouldn't be that anal about it, thinking about it, because nobody gives a shit. But, there, you know, there was those girls who could, like, forge letters like nobody's business.
That's super smart. I should have done that. I remember when I was like in 4th grade, our parents used to have to sign our agenda, which was basically like our planner, where it was like, here's your homework that you have to have this week. And our parents had to sign it like they had to know what homework we had. And I was bad at remembering to, or have my parents sign it. My parents were too, because I've always been really independent. I don't need my parents to be like, do your I do my fucking shit. I never needed them to be like, do your shit. I do my shit. You know? Like, I remember at a certain point, my mom was like, oh, God, I forgot to sign your thing. Just do it for me. And I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, just sign it for me. Like, and at that point, I was like, okay, everything is fake. Nothing is real in the world.
I had that where it was, and this wasn't actually honest anyway, but I had an art teacher who made us, like, have to get our parents' signature for all our art, like, assignments, which, like, was completely you know?
They sucked as an art teacher.
Oh, they were, his name was Scarface, like, or his nickname, because he had, like, one of those, like, really, like, sort of, like, he had acne and always scratched his face type of face looking person. But anyway, and he was, like, super nice to the girls, but awful to the boys. But, like, yeah, exactly. So it wasn't it wasn't a favor to the girls, like, either, you know?
Spinner's burping is very fake. They're playing Go Fish. Spinner says, you want to live life on the edge? And they go to the corner store. It's pretty sure it's the same corner store where they buy the condoms in season 1. Pretty sure it's the same one. I also think it might be the set that eventually becomes the dot, but it's a little bit hard to tell. He suggests a spray cheese eating contest like he did at camp. This is the intro to Spinner's lactose intolerance as, like, a subtext joke.
Oh.
Because they never actually say that he's lactose intolerant, but they make a bunch of references to the fact that he gets really farty when he eats cheese. And in this one, he gets all farty from the spray cheese, which pretty much indicates that he's probably lactose intolerant.
Mm-hmm.
Another episode they mention it is in the future episode Pride, when they're gonna go get pizza and they say pizza and Spinner are always a bad combo.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So we'll point out more of Spinner's lactose intolerance throughout the show.
Ashley got what she wanted and is now like, oh shit.
Yes, Ashley's mom says yes to her piercing, to Ashley's surprise. Ashley's gonna do whatever it takes to make Ellie think that she's cool. But
she's not.
That's the bottom line. Everyone's bored, and so then Marco says, I have a dare. He dials the number and gives it to Sean. He says, funny. Hello, this is the power company. Emma's wearing the weirdest outfit, and it's her on the other line. She says, so this is what you do for fun, Sean. Prank your ex-girlfriend. And Sean's so pissed at Marco, but it's pretty hilarious.
Also, does Marco know Emma's number by heart?
Right? That makes no sense. How would you just know some random like, have they even interacted before? Oh, product placement.
Mountain Dew and Pepsi.
7 slamming spices.
Yes, there's Mountain Dew, Pepsi, and Diet Pepsi.
That's still Pepsi.
Sean makes a joke and says, "Oh, you gonna kiss us now?" Craig's being all like, "I love you guys." And Marco says, "Shut up, Sean." It's a little hint to what's coming soon. Gay Marco. Craig has a twig in his mouth.
Right.
What the heck is up with that? Why does he have like they're country bumpkins? Like they're in Toronto.
Or greasers, I don't know.
Yeah, what's up with that? He ends up telling the boys that he had a chance to drive and that it was really cool. And they convince him that they should take the car out for a drive the next day. Craig is hesitant at first, but he wants to be cool, so he says yes. Him and Ashley are both getting pressured to do stuff they don't want to do. So when the boys wake up the next day, the radio's playing in the background and it's already talking about how the radio shock jock is going to be out today. And that is what the boys end up getting up to later. But for now, they're just sneaking into the dealership. He knows where the keys are, but he doesn't know that there's an alarm system. I found that very, how would you not know that? But there's a call, which is a hint that there's a silent alarm. But they don't answer it, so they take the license plates off of the car before they start driving it. Is that a good idea? That makes you look extra sketch, in my opinion. The car stalls at first, but then he gets it started.
How? It's an automatic.
Is it?
Either it's 3 on the tree because they use the turnstile to put it in first or drive.
Oh.
And it looks kind of like it's a 90s car. I don't think they were making 3 on the tree in the 90s.
Yeah. It's very obvious when Ashley's leaving for her piercing and seeing her mom clip the clippers that she
don't want to be
terrified. Clipped. Yeah. You can.
Are they actually driving? Oh, they are.
I don't think that they
no,
are.
You don't think they're? You think they're on a... When it's on a tow truck or whatever?
In this shot, yeah. Something like that. Because, it looks really fake. When it's the shots of Spinner talking, it looks really fake. Then they hear on the radio about the contest to win the tickets, and they can't resist.
It's a Kid Not Rock.
Kid Elric. Marco is the voice of reason and saying, no, we should go back, but no one listens to him, unfortunately. They're playing, yoga-y music instead of opera at the piercing shop today. Piercing/tattoo spot. She's scared.
I would be too.
She chickens out way, way, way too late. He already is pinching her skin. She was that close to being too late to chickening out. But
Kid Elric doesn't have a wife because he's gay. It's his husband.
They pull right up to where the radio people are, literally right in front of them.
Okay, Greg.
Hey, Greg. Tell us the name of Kid Elric's wife. It's a trick question because he's divorced. It's just I thought that was a little bit of a compliment.
He's divorced after cheating on his wife with groupies. You've won tickets!
He wins 4 tickets, which seems like a lot of tickets to win. Don't you normally just win 2?
I don't know. It's Kid Elric. Maybe he gives out a lot of tickets.
So they're excited in the car, and then Spinner starts farting. Classic lactose intolerant move. They're all
is it lactose intolerant? Because he said he had 3 cans. I feel like anyone would become farty after 3 cans of spray cheese.
I guess so. When the cops pull up next to them, Sean says, keep it cool. He's the only one that seems to, have any sense. The cops end up driving away and everything's fine. They have time to pull the car all the way back into the spot before Joey comes out. Wouldn't he have noticed them immediately? But whatever.
Maybe for the dramatic entrance, you know? Like, it's the opposite of what you're doing. It's a silent alarm.
I know,
Like
Joey's
screaming.
pissed. He says, do the words silent alarm mean anything to you? I'm not gonna lie, when I was a kid and I first saw this, I did not know what a silent alarm was. Like, or what
Silent
that meant.
alarm activated. That's from The Simpsons.
What's the point of a silent alarm?
So the people who are breaking in don't know and get caught, I guess.
I don't know. Just doesn't make sense to me. But that brings us to the make it through moment of the episode. Ashley admits that she's scared of needles and that she wanted to gain points with Ellie.
She's got hella ear piercings, though.
Yeah, there's some holes in the story, but Ellie says, you don't need a piercing to impress me, you're already my friend, and it's really cute. And Ashley doesn't deserve Ellie, but, you know, I know. Ellie should have been gay. I feel like Ellie and Paige actually being gay together would have been the perfect, like, thing for their frenemy ship.
Is that what's in the... instead of Alex?
Or after Alex, like, when they're in college. There is a scene when Ellie kisses her.
Really?
Yeah, it's after her and Marco have that weird thing where they kind of kiss and almost, like, hook up, but then don't. And so then Ellie's like, friends can kiss, see? And she kisses Paige, and Paige is like, ew. And Ellie's like, yeah, that was weird. And bacony, because she had been cooking bacon. Then, at the very end of the episode, it's the it goes there moment. Craig gets chewed out by Joey, and he says, I trusted you, and it really is like cuts. And he rips up the Kid Elric tickets, tells him he should have thought of that before he took the car, even though he wouldn't have had the tickets if he didn't take the car, but never mind. It doesn't make sense, but...
Also, like, he could have sold the tickets.
Yeah, it's really stupid to just rip them up. It doesn't make sense on a lot of levels. But that's what happens. And then we have another deleted scene also.
My
from
disc
this
man!
scene. Oops, wrong one.
I can't believe you deleted me.
That took way too long to get the right one. I need to, like, step my game up with the... But also in this scene when Joey's yelling at Craig and Craig says, oh, are you going to be like my dad now? Are you going to really be like my dad? Like, he's basically saying, like, are you going to hit me like my dad did? And Joey comes in with the, no, I'm going to show you how disappointed I am and say, I trusted you. It's very sad, and the episode just ends there. Craig has to deal with the fact that he broke Joey's trust, and Joey kind of has to deal with the fact that his son's a teenager and is gonna do that. He's gonna fuck up and make mistakes and not use the, you know, decision-making part of his brain properly, because that's how teenagers act.
Uh-oh.
That is the end of Season 2, Episode 6, Drive. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and I just have one question. Who's going to drive you home? Who's going to tell you when? And as David alluded to when he said, uh-oh, a few seconds ago, join us for next week. We will be listening to Shout Part 1. Paige, as usual, is crushing on a new boy, the hot, older soccer star from their rival school, Bardell.
Not Earl Grey?
No, he didn't go to Earl Grey. He went to Bardell. She chases him. She gets dressed up. She goes to the party. She's so excited. But she wasn't bargaining for what happens next. This episode's extremely difficult. The themes are very heavy, so just prepare for that. See you next time.